me remembering to hit record right away, like a real grown-up. So this morning, we're gonna change things up just a little bit. So we've done 4 relatively intense workouts in a row. So today what I wanna do is I wanna start with our drills. So we're gonna do just kind of a short little follow the leader to warm up. And then, sorry, I'm gonna pin myself here so that you can see. And then we'll do our drills. And then the second half of the class is gonna be a nice extended stretch. Because I feel like we need that. I know I do. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start, like I said, just with some movement, get things loosened up. And get the blood flowing, and then we'll go into our shimmy drills and then our other drills. So here we go. Okay, very nice ladies. So now that we are warmish and we've been moving around, let's do our shimmy drills. Starting off with slow shimmies and working our way up to full speed. Okie dokies. So today, Jubei came in a minute or two late, so we're changing it up just a little bit. We're going to do the dance aspect first, all our drills, and then we're going to do like a 30-minute stretch. Since we've had lots of pretty heavy workouts, we're going to take it a little bit easier today. So today I wanted to work on singles on the down. As you guys know, this is one that once upon a time would break my brain. And so I like to keep up with drilling it when I am able. Should have brought an extra hair tie for my shirt. Give me a moment here. All of the heat in the house, because this room is open, just floats straight up in here. So the rest of the house is cold, but this room is hot AF, as they say. Okay, so singles on the down. That means when we're stepping, we want to press the hip down to the floor, which is the opposite of what our bodies do naturally. Naturally, when we walk, the hip comes up as we press the weight onto that foot. So what we want to do is train our bodies to do the counter. So there's a couple of ways of thinking of it. One is as you're stepping, remembering to lift the hip of the leg that you're stepping with. So when you set it down, you have a way to press down. The other one is to think of the opposite hip. Everyone's brain works a little bit differently. You think of it the way it works for you. So if I wanted to think about that opposite hip, that means when I shift my weight onto this foot, I want to think about pulling this hip up. Soft knees are essential. So if we lock those knees, there's nowhere for our hips to go. We have like a third as much movement, range of motion. So we really want to make sure that we've got our soft knees. Squish. Down, 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 down. I like to add a little twist when I do these. You don't have to. You can do them straight on, but it kind of jazzes it up just a little bit. So let's start just forward and back with our singles on the down. So it's the same thing going backwards, obviously, you guys. Lift, press, lift, press, lift, press. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Come on.
All right, so this time I want to practice them on releve. I know some of us have more tender feet than others. Some of us have bunions or bone spurs or inflamed nerves. So you can kind of alternate in between if you want to do one set on releve and then one set flat-footed just to give yourself a break in between. That's perfectly fine. I just really want us to get used to that feel of doing it on releve. You can see I still have soft knees. Maybe you can see I kind of blend in with the curtain, but still keeping those soft knees. You don't want to lock them because again, we lose a huge chunk of our range of motion. And let's work side to side. So down, together, down, I mean, they're down, 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 but it'll be out, together, out, together, out, together, out, together, other way, out, together, out, together, out, together, out, together. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Any questions? Excellent. Let me change playlists real quick here. Grab a quick drink if you need one. Your feet do on that one, okay?
Better than usual. Like 3 or 4 times I had to go flat foot. The rest of the time I was able to do it.
Well, that's good. That's improvement.
Yeah.
Progress is promised. So take a moment, just stretch out those hips a little bit. We're going to be doing lots of lower body stretches today, so we won't spend too much time here, but I know these outer little muscles right here tend to seize up if we do a whole bunch of those in a row. Whew. When we get our water break, I'm going to need to go get my inhaler. Allergies have been crazy lately. I know it's probably just all of the wind, but they are awful. Okay. So this time, I wanted you like as 1, 2, 3, 4, like an 8-pointed star. Okay. So we have, think of it as a plus this way. We've got a cross here, and then we have intersecting lines, right? It's like an asterisk. So I want us to go forward 2, 3, 4, back 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to change and we're going to go on the diagonal. Diagonal 2, 3, 4, back 2, 3, 4 to the side and in. If you need to do a little kick step in between there to balance it out with the direction shift, that's fine. Then we're going to go back on this diagonal. So back to center, then back and front. This diagonal, then side. So we're coming back to center after every direction. Make sense? And we'll just do one full rotation. That is definitely working those outer hip and glute muscles. Last one, we're gonna do a basic Egyptian step with our fingers on the down. So front and back and front and back together. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Hang on, my counts are not working in my brain today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 together, switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 together, switch. Yes, that's what I'm trying to do. Okay. Just 2 minutes of this. Back this up to the beginning. We'll go slow. a drink. I'm gonna get my inhaler. Meet back here in 2 minutes. I'll put some music on for moodiness. Okay. Now we get into the relaxing half of class today. So I'm not even going to put on music for the second half. I feel like sometimes my voice can't be heard over the music. Yeah. So today, because I really want to make sure that we're getting really good, deep, nice, accurate stretches, and we're not, doing anything that's going to injure ourselves, I'm just going to keep the music off for our stretching portion. We're going to start standing up and we're going to do a little bit of upper body, but then we're going to move to the floor and the rest of it is going to be lower body. So if you have a yoga mat or some kind of pad that you would like to use, if your floor is hard, I would recommend you grabbing that before we get started. And let's go. So we're going to start with our legs nice and wide apart. And we're just going to start with some deep squats with some shoulder rolls, getting everything loose. Make a couple big arm circles and into the neck. Really letting the weight of your head help stretch those muscles out. And to the back. And we're going to pull over ear to shoulder. And switch. Oh, my shoulders are so tight. One more time. And switch. And swinging the arms, stretching out those chest muscles. And coming across the body here, try to keep your shoulder down to get a better stretch through the upper back here. And you guys know me, I'm incapable of keeping my hips still while I'm stretching my arms. Same thing over here, keep that shoulder down. Behind the head. Other side. Make sure you're breathing nice and deep and even. And a couple arm circles. And squatting down, big arm circle, and then we're gonna come all the way down here. If you're not able to touch the floor here, bringing the arms and elbows like this, so we can hang and let that body weight really take effect. Relax the head. And then we're gonna bend the knees down into a squat so you get a nice stretch of those groin muscles and back up. And now let's try rotating the hips a little bit side to side. So you really get, and it doesn't have to be a big movement, we're just kind of pushing the hips each side a little bit to really get a stretch down both the groin and the back of the hamstring. Just shifting those hips back and forth. And coming over to one side. Again, go as deep as you can. If you can get your nose to your knee, awesome. If you're like me and totally incapable, that's fine. Just work within your own body's abilities. And back to center. And over to the other side. You want to try to keep your toes pointed forward here as well. That'll help you get a stretch along the outside of the calf too. And coming back to center. One more squat down. And we're going to roll up. Walk it in, roll the shoulders out just a little bit. And here we're going to go into a forward fold. So what we really want to do here is keep the lower abdominals tucked in and keep your back as flat as possible. So if you can only come down to here, that's how far you should go. If you can keep your back flat and come down to your shins, do that. If you can fold all the way in half down to the floor, do that. But you don't want to roll your back. That's going to take away from the amount of stretch you get in the back of the legs. So as far down as you can go with the legs straight and the back flat. My hamstrings are the world's worst, so I cannot go very far. We're going to bend the knees, press back up. See if you can go a little bit deeper. Breathing nice and deep into those muscles. Now you want to shift the weight on one leg, so bending one leg and really pressing back into the other leg, alternating, kind of rotating the hip back of the straight leg to really, really get those back of the leg muscles. And we're gonna bend one more time with the knees, press back up, see if you can bring it any deeper at all. And we're gonna bend down, roll up, and we're gonna come down to the floor. We're gonna sit butterfly stretch. So what I really want to make sure you're doing on this one is see if you can get your sits bones out underneath you. So really pulling out all those butt muscles. So you're sitting on your bones. And get the feet in as close as you can while keeping the back straight again. We don't want to roll and hunch. So you want to try and keep that back nice and straight. You can hold on to your ankles if you need to. And let the weight of your knees fall out. You can press out with your elbows to get a nice stretch here. And again, just trying to keep that back as straight as possible so we're not rolling forward. If you have a hard time keeping the back straight, you can always put the hands behind you for a little added support. And pressing the knees down to the floor. Nice deep breaths into those stretches. This time we're going to roll forward. This time you can roll the back. It doesn't have to be straight. You can keep it straight if you want to, if you're not flexy. I am not. So I'm just going to roll the back forward. So you guys can see I get a nice stretch all along my whole back. When I roll forward, drop the head down. Even up across these shoulders. Just turning back to face you guys again. Easing up and then coming down again. Nice deep breaths. Coming back up. We're going to extend one leg. You want to keep the other one in as close to you as you can. You want to keep that foot, the extended leg split pointed up. And this one, guys, I struggle with really bad. So what we want to do is reach over the head. So we get a stretch all along here and all down the back of this leg as well. If you can get all the way over and touch your toes, you're a better man than I. I can get about this far. So again, just working within your abilities. If you can get further down towards the toes, you can move this arm to the opposite side so you get more of a twist. And relaxing the neck as well. Nice deep breaths. If you need to come up in between for a quick break, that's fine. Try to go a little deeper. And stretch it out the other way real fast, just to kind of relax the back. This time we're going to rotate the body so the body is reaching forward instead of to the side. So my hips kind of rotate this way. I'm going to pull myself forward as much as I can. If you can reach your toes, kudos to you. Make sure if you can that you can pull back on your upper foot a little bit to make sure it stays flexed to get extra stretch. If you're weak sauce like me and not flexy, just work within your parameters. It hurts, but it's a good hurt. All right, and now we're gonna switch legs. Exact same thing on the other side. So bringing this one in nice and close. This one's extended, foot flexed, coming up and over. Take a little rest in between. Try to go a little bit deeper. And then same thing on this side. We're going to rotate so that we're coming down over the leg instead of over the side. If you can reach your toes, you can pull back on the ball of your foot to get an extra stretch. I'm really surprised that I've been on the floor for what, like 5 minutes now, and not a single critter has come up and tried to interact with me. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. Okay, so this next one, I have an extremely hard time with, and I forgot, do I have I do have a yoga block in here. Let me grab. So I'm gonna put this under my booty, and I'm extending the legs out into a split. So the reason I'm using a block is because I cannot stretch my legs out in a V and get on my sits bones. My hamstrings are so tight that I cannot do that. So if I am here, in order to stay upright, I have to kind of roll my hips under, and I'm no longer on my sits bones. So if I can get this hip up, or the block up under me, it gives me just enough lift that I can keep myself upright. So again, working within your parameters. Oh, hips, come on, you can do it. And if you are able to get your sits bones underneath you and walk forward with your hands, that's awesome. If you're not, just kind of sit here, breathe into it. You can bring the knees up a little bit to work on stretching forward. Give yourself a little break in between, and then extending again. This is so hard. Hey, get out in front of the camera. Not. I spoke too soon. Good. Bend the knees, give them a break here, stretch forward. I know. And extending again. Taking deep breaths. And coming back up. Take a minute to shake it out. Okay. Coming onto our backs. We're going to pull our knees to our chest as close as we can and just rock back and forth. Give you a nice little back massage while we're stretching. You're in my way, Kat. Oh, for goodness sake. Keep getting in the way. You're in front of my list. Okay, bringing one leg to the chest and extending the other. Try to pull the flat leg away from the body. Point the toes. Then we're going to link our hands behind this leg and we're going to press up. So pulling the thigh close to the body and then trying to extend. My leg shakes like crazy when I do this. And then relax. Extend. If you can get your leg straight, that's awesome. And relax. Extend. And relax. Extend. And relax. Extend. And relax. Extend. This is one of the most exhausting stretches, but it really does help those hamstrings. And relax. And one more, extend. And relax. Now we're going to take this knee and instead of pulling it to the center of the chest, we're going to try and pull it up towards the armpit. And still stretching that extended leg away from the body. Nice deep breaths. And now we're going to flip that knee over to the opposite side. As much as you can while keeping the shoulder on the floor. Should get a nice stretch along the outer glutes there. And coming back, we're going to switch legs. So other leg, bring it into the chest. Extending the straight leg as far as we can. And then looping those hands behind, we're going to extend and relax. Extend and relax. Extend and relax. Extend and relax. And pulling that knee into the armpit, or as close as you can get it. Keeping lots of tension in that bottom leg, stretching away from the body. And then twisting across the body. Good. And then we're going to do this one where we cross one leg over the other, come behind the thigh and pull towards us to really get that nice stretch along the glutes and the outer hips. If you're not getting enough of a stretch, even though you're pulled way up, you can push down on that knee. Cat keeps getting in front of my list. Deep breaths. And switching sides. Now she's staring at me with her angry face because I made her move from in front of my list. Life with critters. Good. So now what I want to do is kind of come up on hands and knees. I'm going to come into a lunge position. And I'm going to press forward so that I get a nice stretch of the hip flexors along the front of my hips. If you can come up with the arms, you can come up with the arms. If you prefer to keep the hands here to stay balanced, that's fine. But the more, if you find your hip kind of hurts up in here where it folds, pulling the back away from the body can help as we push those hips forward. And then from here, we're going to come down into our pigeon pose, if you're able. Again, the more you're able to keep the foot out at a 90-degree, the more of a stretch you're going to get back here. Ah, my foot is cramping. If you can come down further, that's fine. Nice deep breaths. And coming back up. We're going to switch sides. So coming into that lunge again. Bringing your arms up if you can. If not, keeping them on the knee is fine. Should feel that nice stretch along the front of the hip flexor. And then coming down into pigeon pose. This is my bad knee, so I'm going to put this block under my butt. Coming down over, getting that nice stretch along the outside of the hip. There we go. And then if you can pull in and come down over the knee. Get a nice deep stretch back there. Nice deep breaths. Anytime you feel tension and a lot of pull on that muscle, try to breathe into it. So next one, you know, we did this one where we were sitting up. We want to do kind of the same thing, except we're going to do it on our friends. I know it sounds crazy, but this is really going to help get those hip flexors stretched out. So you want to keep the feet together, knees pressed to the outside, and see if you can press the hips down towards the floor. If you can keep your feet on the floor, that's fine. If you need to keep them up, that's fine. If you need to open them because it's too tender, that's fine too. Whatever works best for you. If you can get your hips all the way down to the floor and arch the back up, that's great. If not, that's all right. We're all working with our own parameters, our own abilities. But you want to make sure that your knees are behind the hips.